A sixth-round projected wide receiver just got compared to George Pickens, McConkey, and Brock Bowers, by the one guy who watched all of them up close. And this dude was taken in the 4th round by Cincinnati. Either the Bengals just pulled off the steal of the entire draft, or they just made the most controversial pick of Zac Taylor's career. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest Bengals updates. Let's set the scene first. The 2025 NFL Draft is done. The dust has settled. And while most of the football world is still debating first-round picks and blockbuster trades, the Cincinnati Bengals quietly slid into round 4 and grabbed a name that is now turning heads in a serious way. Pick 140. Kobe Young, wide receiver out of Georgia. Now, when the pick first dropped, the reaction was mixed. That is being generous. A lot of fans were not thrilled. Some draft analysts had him projected as a 7th-round pick, and a handful of people flat-out called it a reach. On top of that, there were some off-field concerns that came out around draft time, real issues, not rumors, and that made a lot of people uncomfortable with the selection. So yeah, on paper, this looked like a head-scratcher. But here is the thing. What is happening right now behind the scenes at Cincinnati is telling a completely different story. And once you hear what his former Georgia teammates are saying about this kid, your entire opinion might flip. So let me ask you this. When was the last time a 4th-round pick had his teammates this hyped before he even put on a jersey? The Georgia connection nobody is talking about here is something that makes this pick even more interesting. Kobe Young is not walking into a locker room full of strangers. He is walking into a room where guys already know him, already trust him, and already have receipts on what he can do. Dylan Fairchild, offensive lineman for the Bengals who also played at Georgia, did not hold back when asked about Young. He said the guy is a positive presence every single day, a great teammate, and, most importantly, a flat-out playmaker. Now that alone is nice. Teammates say good things about each other all the time. That is not exactly breaking news. But then Amarius Mims opened his mouth. And that is where things got genuinely wild. Mims said Kobe Young has one of the craziest catch radiuses he has ever seen in his life. He said he has basically never watched this guy drop a football. Ever. Okay. Cool. But here is why that quote should blow your mind. Think about who Amarius Mims watched catching passes during his time at Georgia. We are talking about George Pickens, who is now one of the most electric receivers in the entire NFL. We are talking about Adonai Mitchell, a first-round talent. McConkey, who torched defenses in the NFL in his rookie season. And Brock Bowers, arguably the most talented tight end prospect in a decade. Mims watched all of those guys. Every single rep, every single catch. And he is looking at Kobe Young and saying this is one of the best he has seen. That is not a small statement. That is a massive, flashing neon sign that the Bengals might have just found something special in round 4. But wait, what about the off-field issues? Yeah. We have to go there. Because if we are being real fans here, we cannot just ignore it. There were some serious off-field problems that surfaced around Kobe Young before the draft. Things that were not just internet noise, there were actual findings that came out. And understandably, that scared a lot of fan bases away from him, which is probably a big reason why he slid further down draft boards than his talent suggested he should. So here is the question every Bengals fan is sitting with right now: did Zac Taylor and the front office do their homework? Or did they just gamble on a talented but risky player and hope for the best? Here is what we know. His medical checks came back clean. There are no lingering physical concerns. And more importantly, the people around him, teammates, coaches, are vouching for who he is as a person right now, not who he was in a bad moment. Mims himself said that every time he runs into Young in Athens, the conversations are good. He said the kid has his head on straight. He described him as someone who brings real value, big frame, great route running, and the kind of guy you can just throw it up to and trust him to go get it. And that is music to Joe Burrow's ears. Drop a comment right now. Do you think the Bengals front office made the right call taking Kobe Young with this pick, or was it a mistake? Let us know below. What this means for Joe Burrow's offense. Let's talk real football for a second. Joe Burrow is already one of the best quarterbacks on the planet. The guy is a walking highlight reel when healthy. And one of his biggest weapons is his ability to throw with anticipation, to trust his receivers to win their battles and go up and get the football. He does it with Jamar Chase. He does it with T. Higgins. And now, if Mims is right, he might have another guy in that same mold waiting in the wings. The wide receiver 3 spot in Cincinnati has been a question mark. It has been a revolving door of guys who flashed potential but never fully locked down that role. Right now, there are multiple players fighting for that position, and Young is going to be right in the middle of that competition. Is he going to take snaps away from Chase or Higgins? Absolutely not. That is not even a realistic conversation. But that third receiver spot, that is very much on the table. Zac Taylor has already said publicly that Young is going to be out there competing for a real job, not just a practice squad role, not just a camp body. A real, legitimate roster spot. Training camp is going to be fascinating to watch. Preseason is going to tell us a lot. Because if Young can show up and do in practice what his Georgia teammates say he does, winning at the catch point, running clean routes, never dropping the football, then this could quietly become one of the best value picks of the entire 2025 draft class. Before we wrap this up, let's hear from the man himself. Because Kobe Young was asked directly about his situation, the off-field noise, the draft slide, and what getting that call from Cincinnati meant to him. He said the Bengals looked at the actual person they were getting, not the version of him that existed on social media or in internet headlines. He said they trusted him. They believed in him. And in return, he has nothing but love and respect for Cincinnati. That kind of gratitude and self-awareness is exactly what you want to hear from a young player entering the league with something to prove. Some guys get drafted and act like the team owes them something. Kobe Young sounds like a guy who understands the opportunity in front of him and is treating it like the second chance it is. The Bengals made a bold move taking him at pick 140. They clearly did their research. They clearly had conversations with people in Georgia's program. And they clearly felt confident enough in who this kid is today to invest a fourth-round pick in his future. Whether that pays off, that is what the next few months are going to show us. Here is where we land on all of this. Kobe Young was a risky pick. No sugarcoating it. The off-field history is real, the sample size at Georgia was limited due to injury, and his stats are not the kind that jump off the page at you. 6'4", 218 pounds, a 4.4940. The physical tools are there, no question. But raw tools only mean so much without proven production. What is encouraging is everything happening around him right now. Former teammates who played alongside legitimate NFL stars are putting him in elite company. His coach is talking about him competing for a starting spot. And the player himself sounds locked in and motivated in a way that suggests he understands exactly what this moment means. The wide receiver 3 battle in Cincinnati just got a lot more interesting. So here is your challenge for the comments section today. Do you think Kobe Young locks down that wide receiver 3 role and earns real Sunday snaps this season? Or does he spend year one as a rotational piece waiting for his shot? Comment yes if you think he starts the season as the 3 receiver, or no if you think he is still a work in progress. Let the debate begin. That is everything for today. Stay locked in, because the Bengals offseason is just getting started, and the next story we are covering might be the biggest one yet.